Hello and a very warm welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to tell you 4 simple steps to begin an online blog. Now, a blog is really a very useful way for you to share your story because it allows you to have a voice and to be heard. And you can share your story with the entire world if you choose to. Now, the thing is, you could actually make quite a decent amount of money by blogging. If you do it correctly, it can be quite lucrative. And the best part about blogging is that it is a form of passive income, since you can spend just a few hours a week writing a piece of content and then continue to profit from it long after the writing is finished. So how do you actually begin a blog? But before we look into that, what really is a blog? In short, a blog is a type of website that focuses mainly on written content. It is also known as a blog post, and in popular culture, we most often hear about news blogs or celebrity blog sites, but quite frankly, you can write a blog about any topic imaginable. Now, bloggers often write from a personal perspective that allows you to connect directly with the readers. And in addition to that, in your blog, you can also choose to have a comment section where visitors can actually correspond with you as the blogger. Now, interacting with your visitors in the comment section is quite helpful because it allows you to get immediate feedback on your content, and it acts as a form of connection between you and the readers. So how do you start a blog? Step 1 is to pick a name for your blog. Pick a name for your blog. Now, if you're not very sure of how to name your blog or what to name your blog, the first tip I would give you is think about the content. What are you going to be blogging about? What is it that you're going to be blogging about? Now, once you have found the name you wanted, or if you find that, let's say, for example, you're going to be blogging about food and you call your blog Yummy Food, for example, just an example, and you find that that name has already been taken, then there are a few things that you could do. Because once you have decided what to call your blog, the best thing is to put that in the search engine for Google, for example. And, just to ensure that no one else has chosen that name for their blog. But if you find that the name you wanted is already taken, you could still adjust it by, for example, trying a different domain extension. If the .com version is already registered, you may still be able, for example, you can use .net, or you can use .org version of the name. So if you wanted to call your blog Yummy Food, and once you put that in the search engine, you realize that someone else has a blog with that name, you could change it. Instead of saying yummyfood.com, you could call it yummyfood.net or yummyfood.org. Okay? Now, just adding small words also like a or my or best or the, for example, the Yummy Food or a Yummy Food channel or a Yummy Food blog or best Yummy Food, for example. could also give you a leeway in regards to changing, you know, the blog name slightly. If you really want to call your blog a specific name and you realize that that name has actually been taken. You could also add dashes between the words. For example, yummy slash food, or yummy dash food.com, for example. So once you have chosen your blog name, then the next thing that you want to do is to choose the topic for your blog. Okay, choose the topic of your blog. Okay, now if you don't have an idea for a name already, the first step is just to choose your blog topic. And you know, there are a few ideas that I could give you on what to blog about. For example, you can blog about life experiences. You know, everyone has lessons they've learned through life, and sharing this knowledge can be incredibly helpful to others in similar situations. So, you know, you could just write a blog based on your own personal life experiences and, you know, the lessons that you've learned along the way, really. You could also come up with a personal blog. Now, a personal blog is all about you, and this will include a variety of topics, from what you do on a daily basis, for example, to random thoughts and about your day-to-day life. And this is really a great way to share your thoughts with the world without having to stick to just one topic. You could also begin a blog on hobbies and passions. You know, hobbies or other interests you're passionate about would be a great place to start, really. For example, cooking, travel, fashion, sports, cars, if, for example, that's what you're into. But even blogs about more obscure hobbies can be successful, since your audience is literally anyone in the world, as long as they have the internet. So once you have a topic, it's time to choose your blog name that is also known as your domain name. Okay, so think about the topic that you want your blog to be based on, and then brainstorm that and come up with a name for your blog. Now, that name for your blog is also called the domain name. For example, yummy food, that will eventually be your domain name. Now, a good blog name should be, you know, descriptive. Okay, so when you're choosing a name for your blog, let it be reflective of your content, so that if someone is looking for content about food and they just do a Google search, for example, your blog will come up. So a good blog, you know, a good blog name should be descriptive in regards to the content that the blog is actually going to be about. Now, if you're blogging about one specific topic, then you will definitely want to include that in some way when you pick a domain name. Try not to get hung up on just one word, though. For example, a cooking blog doesn't necessarily have to have the word cooking in it. The words food, recipes, and meals would also let people know that your blog is about cooking. Okay, and if you're planning to create a personal blog where you discuss a variety of topics, then I would recommend using your name or some variation of it, since your blog is all about you. Okay, now once you have worked through the first step, which is picking a blog name, and I've given you a few tips around that, you move on to the second step, and the second step is get your blog online. Okay, once you have chosen a name for your blog, and that is going to be your domain name, then the second step is get your blog online. Now, you've already picked, you got a name out. It's time to get your blog online, and this might sound, I know it sounds hard or technical, but it's not, it shouldn't really be so. To get your blog up and running, you need two things. The first thing that you need is blog hosting, also known as web hosting, because remember, your blog is actually a website. So to get your blog up and running, the first thing that you need is blog hosting, that is also known as web hosting. The second thing that you're going to need is blogging software. Now, the good news is that these two typically come packaged together. That is the blog hosting and the blogging software. Typically, they come packaged together. A blog host is a company that stores all the files for your blog and delivers them to the user when they type in your blog name. Okay, so the role of the blog host is to store all your files for your blog, and when someone types in your blog name on a Google search, for example, the blog host delivers them to the user. Okay, now you must have a blog host in order to have a blog, so it's not something that you can actually avoid. You must have a blog host in order to have a blog. Okay, you also need to have the software, okay, the blogging software to build your blog. Okay, you can do that. Some of the blogging software out there could be, for example, the WordPress blogging software. That is WordPress blogging software, and it is actually the most popular, and that's because it is very it's the easiest to use and it's very easy to customize. So when you're choosing your blogging software, I would recommend that you choose WordPress blogging software. WordPress is WORDPRESS and then blogging software. WordPress blogging software. It's like I said, it's the most popular because it's the easiest to use and it's pretty easy to customize, really. So if you decide to go for WordPress, then it should be quite good. But there is also another one that a web host that I would recommend. So the first one was the blogging software that you need, and the first thing that I pointed out when it comes to getting your blog online is that you need blog hosting, or what we call a web hosting. Okay, so in regards to that, I would recommend BlueHost. BlueHost is really a web host that I would recommend, because remember, like we said earlier on, you must have a blog host in order to have a blog. That you really must have that. Now, there are a number of them out there, but personally I would recommend BlueHost. BlueHost is BlueHost. Okay, BlueHost. Now, the reason why I would recommend that web host personally is because they will register your custom domain name for free. Okay, they will register your custom domain name for free, and that is the name that you chose to call your blog. They will register that for free, making sure that no one else can take it. Also, they have a 30-day money back guarantee if you're not satisfied for whatever reason. And besides that, they offer a free automatic installation of the WordPress blogging software that we talked about, because remember we said you need the blogging software, and that you do also need to ensure that you have a web host. So when you sign up, when you use BlueHost as your web host, then they will also provide you with free automatic installation of the WordPress blogging software. And besides that, they offer reliable web hosting that has been recommended by WordPress since 2005, and they do currently have over 2 million blogs and websites. Besides that, they have helpful 24/7 customer service through the phone or web chat. Now, you may be asking yourself, will I be paying an extra fee? Now, you can use a BlueHost, and usually they charge about $3 or slightly less than $3 per month. So it's not expensive at all. So that is step 2. To get your blog online, you need to make sure that you have 2 things that we've already talked about. You need to make sure that you have the blog hosting, which is also known as web hosting. And secondly, you need the blogging software. But like I pointed out, these 2 typically come packaged the same. And I have given you I have recommended to you the software that is WordPress, and I have recommended to you a web host, and that is BlueHost. And the good thing, like I said, with BlueHost is that it will come, the 2 of them will come together. They will come packaged together. That is the blog hosting and the blogging software. And you will pay a very small amount of money, not more than $3 per month. Okay, now once you have done that, then let's move on to the next step as regards to how to begin your website. So how to begin your online blog. So step 3 is once you have done completed step 2 is to customize your blog. Okay, customize your blog. Now to customize your blog, it means that you need to make sure that it has the things that you want. For example, on the front page, the subtopics that you want to include in your blog. For example, the themes that you want to include, how you want your pages to look like. Now, the good thing is once you have signed up with BlueHost, they provide all these templates that you could use to customize your blog. Okay, so it's pretty simple, really. Once you have signed up with BlueHost, for example, because then all the templates are there, and all you have to do is really just customize it depending on what your blog is going to be about, what subtopics or what key topics you want to address, and the themes, the colors, and that sort of thing. Then step 4 is the actual writing of the blog. You know, you will be writing your first blog post and publishing it, really. So once you have your blog up and running, you've customized what you want it to look like, then you begin writing your very first blog post. Okay, and that depends, like I said, on what it is that your blog is going to be about. Now, there are two main types of content your blog should provide, that is static and dynamic content. Now, static content implies that your blog should contain a few necessary pages explicitly designed to provide the visitor with the tools they need. Okay, the content on these pages should be static, meaning the content doesn't change, or at least not very often. Okay, and there are mainly top level pages that can be accessed through a menu on your blog. Okay, and these static content pages should be in place you know, well before you launch your blog to the world. Okay, and I'm just going to give you some examples of static pages that you could include in your blog. The first one could be about me, you know, about yourself, you know, and you could make that page include a sort of biographical summary of yourself. Okay, maybe your mission statement. Think about answers to questions such as, how did your passion for the subject that you're going to be writing about develop? What do you want to convey to the world? What's your goal? Okay, so about me, include, you know, an about me column, or so to speak. And then you could also include a contact me section. Now, a contact me page should provide the visitor or anybody who clicks on your blog with you know, with details on how to contact you. And that actually provides the visitor with a reassurance that you are a real and reachable author. And you can add your physical address if you want, your phone number and custom email address. Or you can utilize a simple contact form to keep your personal identity private, really, if that's what you want. Okay, and you should put links to all of your social media profiles there as well. That would be very helpful to you. Now, other static pages that you may want to include in your blog would be, for example, a disclaimer page. Okay, for example, if you intend to monetize your blog, you know, you must describe the ways you intend to generate income. For example, this is an absolute must-have page that should not be overlooked, really, as per the FTC guidelines. For example, if you're discussing or endorsing a product and stand to profit by linking to the product, you're required to disclose that. Also, you could include static pages, for example, in regards to privacy policy. Okay, for example, if you collect data from your visitors in any way, you're required legally to add a privacy policy page that tells visitors exactly how you're collecting your data and how you're using it, and if you're sharing the data. And if you implement Google AdSense, for example, at some point, if you decide to have ads run on your blog, or a Google Analytics account on your blog, a privacy policy must be used. Okay, and that page is actually required by legally, you're required to do that. Okay, and then you could also include another page on terms of service. You know, if your blog is running a store, for example, an online store, or selling services, it is a good idea to have a terms of service page just to lessen your potential liability. Okay, so these static pages would typically be linked you know, in the footer menu, you know, at the bottom of your blog, and they should at the very least be visible and accessible from the home page. Again, you know, that is something that really I would definitely recommend. And there are other static pages you can choose to include depending on what suits your blog and business. Common static page examples, for example, an advertising page to solicit paid advertisements, maybe a donations page, a resource page to direct visitors to your favorite links within your field, and maybe a page for submitting ideas and content. So besides static content, you also need to include dynamic content on your blog. And your dynamic content really is your blog and the most important content you have to offer, because this is where, as the creator, you will infuse the blog with your brand of informative content that supplies your audience with knowledgeable tips, for example, facts, opinions, and stories, and so on, depending on what your blog is about. And this is how you engage your visitors and keep them coming back for more. Now, your blog content should be regularly submitted at specific intervals. Waiting for months to create content will never build a following. So posting, for example, content weekly or driving traffic to this post will help build your brand. Okay, now, so that is our fourth step and the final step, which was how to write how to write a new blog post once you have your blog up and running, and basically how to publish it, really. Now, I hope that you found these steps helpful. But before I go off, let me just talk a little bit about how you should publish your blog. So once you have written your post, and the next thing you want to do is publish your blog. And just with a click of, if, for example, if you choose to go for BlueHost, like I pointed out earlier on, when you're ready to make your blog public for the first time, just click the BlueHost menu right at the top left of the menu in your WordPress dashboard. Just click launch. Okay, click launch, and just click the launch button to remove the placeholder page and launch your blog. Okay, and once you have done that, then you will have published your very first post. You will have essentially started your own blog and published it. Okay, now, just before I sign off, once you have done that, don't forget to promote your blog. Okay, for example, using your social media, comment on other blogs, for example. You can collaborate with other bloggers, and don't forget to post as regularly as you can. Okay, because you want to make sure that your blog is appearing, for example, in Google search or Bing or any of the search engines, for example. Okay, and don't forget that, bottom line, you can make money from your blog. Okay, you can make money, for example, if you let AdSense run on your blogs. You can sell affiliate products if you wish to. You can sell products and services. You can sell digital downloads. You can sell memberships, and the list is endless. Now, if you found this video helpful at all, then please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course share this video with anybody else who may need it or may benefit from it. Now, thank you very much, and I shall see you in our next video. Bye bye.